Hello fellow pilots and welcome to the BM Airspace. This is a quick introduction video to help you get familiar with the airspace and its associated craziness. This is an accurate simulation of peak congestion during prior years. So let's begin. Okay, first, what are we looking at? The red pentagon is the no-fly zone over the event. Please don't go in there. The green flight paths are inbound flights. You can either go around the scenic pattern or you can go direct to the runway. The purple flights are ultralight operations. The orange flight paths are all departures and scenic patterns, of which are two, but we'll get to that. And of course, there are two runways, one for landing, one for takeoffs. And I should note this map is set up for prevailing winds using runways 25, L, and R. So you might be thinking, okay, this airspace is pretty well organized. What could go wrong? Well, when you take away the imaginary lines, it gets confusing pretty quickly. And remember, this is a 2-scale accurate representation of peak traffic. You'll notice there are planes going absolutely everywhere. So let's make our way through this mess. And we'll start on the approach from Gerlach. All right, your first decision point is, do I want to go around the scenic pattern before landing, or do I want to go direct? If scenic, descend to 7,000 and head for point 1 on the pentagon. In our tour, however, we'll go direct. In which case, your next decision point is Frog Pond, which is a visible pond at the edge of the southern mountains. It's arguably the most dangerous point in the Burning Man airspace. Airplanes coming from the scenic pattern will be flying directly at arrival, so please keep your eyes open here. In order to have a smooth transition to downwind, we recommend you be at 5,000 or below when you reach Frog Pond, where you will turn towards the event and head for the midfield left downwind for 2-5. Here's the pattern from overhead. Remember to announce your position as you progress inbound and say things like Red Cessna, not your tail number, no one can read it. Also, the runway is a mile long, so there's no need to fly long downwind and final legs. That only puts you unnecessarily close to pilots exiting the scenic pattern. It makes you harder to see for anyone falling in behind you, and it forces anyone close behind you to fly the long pattern too. So bottom line, not cool. In fact, with such a long runway, you can turn base early and land halfway down to shorten your taxi. This would give you roughly 2,600 feet to land. Also, pattern altitude is 800 AGL. And the playa is roughly 3,900 to 4,000 feet. So once in the pattern, proceed and land as usual. Now for takeoff. Fairly straightforward here. You climb to 500 feet AGL at runway heading and then make a slight left turn so that you're flying down the middle of the valley. And again, playa elevation is roughly 4,000. Stay at 500 feet AGL for 3 miles. And remember, you're going to have the inbound scenic pilots above you, and that's why you want to stay low. Now, once you get out 3 miles, you can climb. If you are departing, climb to your desired altitude and keep going. If you're flying the pattern and you're under 100 knots, climb to 5,500, and if you're over 100 knots, climb to 6,000. Once there, make a hard right turn back towards the event and enter the scenic pattern at point 1 on the pentagon. Okay, so quick pattern recap. Inbound flights are on top at 7,000. Scenic flights greater than 100 knots are at 6,000. Scenic flights less than 100 knots are at 5,500, and ultralights are under 5,000. If you're an ultralight pilot, you cannot fly around the entire event. You may only fly from the ultralight area to point 1 and then clockwise to point 3. Once there, make a U-turn, fly back to point 1. This, of course, is your punishment for having the coolest aircraft that the rest of us secretly covet. But it also keeps you clear of the boring faster airplanes. Everyone else, however, can fly around the scenic pattern as many times as they like, checking in every time at point 5. When you depart the pattern, only depart at point 3, and then fly to Frog Pond either via the railroad, as depicted here, or around the mountain to the south. All right, well that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. And remember, this map is fully interactive online, so please click the link to the interactive version where you can even do a virtual flyby, which of course is not even close to permitted in real life. So enjoy.